Rockers, we're here in Finland, Helsinki, and I'm here with Kiko Loureiro.
Yes.
Did I pronounce that correctly?
Yeah, good.
How do you pronounce it?
Loureiro.
Loureiro.
Yeah. Yes. Works well.
Do you roll the R?
Yeah, we roll the R. Yeah.
So Loureiro?
Loureiro, yes. Now we're talking.
So,
yes.
Hello Rockers, I'm here with Kiko Loureiro.
Yes.
We got a bit Swedish pronunciation there.
Oh yeah? Okay, perfect.
You've been, you are the co-founder and have been the lead guitarist in Angra for 24 years.
Yeah.
Then you played in Megadeth for 7.
7, yeah, a bit more, yeah.
A bit
8,
more?
Yes, yeah. Somewhere there, 7, 8.
7, 8, we say 8.
Okay.
And since 2022, you've been focusing on family and a solo career, which you've also been doing parallelly with all the band works since 2004, right?
Yes, exactly.
Well, your first album was 2000.
Yes, 2004, yeah, exactly, yeah.
So you've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
May I ask what the first spark was? What led you to pick up a guitar?
To pick up the guitar. So I started playing acoustic guitar, like classical, because my sister, an older sister, she was taking lessons, and the teacher was coming to my place, and then one day she gave up, and then the teacher was there, so my mother said like, "Would you want to try?" And then that's how I started playing, and I'm lefty, and then I have to use the same acoustic guitar, so I have to learn, as a right-handed person. So I was 11. And then I like it. And then I was, learning the first chords, the classical pieces a bit, with that teacher that was coming to my home once a week, as every normal kid. But then I was, then we had, this is in Brazil, I'm Brazilian. And then we had the Rock in Rio festival. And it was a big deal because 1 year before have Kiss, Creatures of the Night, tour, and then it was a big deal with like seeing the kids and the magazines and TV a bit. But then Rock in Rio was a big event. I was too young to go, but I could watch those bands on TV. So I have Iron Maiden, AC/DC, Ozzy, Scorpions, Yes, Whitesnake. So like I was like, wow, this is amazing. And also like the first music videos, things like that. Then I wanted to play electric guitar because the acoustic guitar was not enough. And then I went to have a guitar lesson, and then the teacher played in front of me a Led Zeppelin riff, and then he started playing some Dio solos, and then it's like, oh, that's what I want to do, And then I started playing guitar. I was like 14. Then I started practicing guitar. It was my passion. And till this day, right?
Who was your
story?
Yeah, so your first who were your first inspirations then?
I think, and also like in my school, I was in like a very good school and have the libraries with the vinyls. So I was like learning and discovering the bands, getting the vinyls from the library. So like Deep Purple, Led Zeppelin, older bands, was not the current albums. It was like maybe it's the 70s albums. So I was like really into the Deep Purple and Led Zeppelin. That's what I remember. And then, I was getting anything from the library, like the Pink Floyds and, old Iron Maiden and Judas Priest. And then I started buying some vinyls as well that I was really into the metal bands, Black Sabbath, right? But everything started there, like getting the vinyls from the library and then discovering the bands. And then also watching some, the TV stuff. It was just a little things, but the Rock in Rio was a big event for Brazil back then, So it was very inspiring. A lot of people from my generation, they will say the same thing, like, okay, Rock in Rio, seeing those bands live, big stage. And of course, it was prime times of all those bands, Queen and Scorpions and Ozzy Osbourne with the J.K. Lee, Bark at the Moon album, Power Slave from Iron Maiden. So it's cool to watch this on TV,
When did you know, okay, this is what I want to work with?
Now, this took a long time because then also like I was learning how to play, going to, guitar lessons, and then, bands with friends, and then got a bit more serious, playing some bars and things like that. But still, I was doing at school. Then I had to decide about should I do a university or not. So then I got into the music university. And then, but I was not sure about being a musician. I was never sure about, okay, this profession, I don't know, it doesn't sound very safe, you know. Then I did biology. So I went to a biology university. So I was kind of doing both, but it was too much for me because I wanted to also practice guitar at home. So I gave up the music university I gave up. And then I continued doing biology because I thought it would be a safer bet for my future. But I was playing guitar a lot. And this is like during the Angra demo times, then I went to Germany to record the first Angra album. And then I missed the tests at the university because I stayed like 2 months in Germany, in Hamburg, recording the album. Then I was kind of, okay, music's going to be my thing, So it's like all those events. But I always thought that one day I would go back to finish my biology university to be a biologist.
And did you?
No. But I always had so when I was 20, until I was 25, 26, I was still like, okay, one day I need to go back to really finish my biology university. And I was already touring, like I had some albums recorded because the first Angra album we recorded in Germany and then it was released in Japan and we got the gold disc in Japan. And for us, this was amazing because we didn't expect.
Yeah, that's an incredible way. Like the first
album
right?
got the gold disc in Japan and had all the media. And then back in Brazil, like all the band got gold disc in Japan. So all the media of like all the successful band in Japan, the other side of the planet, before the social media. So this was like, for us, our life was the same, right? Because, the gold disc was in another country. So we probably got some magazines or were in the front cover of the magazines, but, we didn't feel that success, because our life in Brazil was the same, so different than nowadays. You have some sort of success you can share on social media so everybody can see right away. So, so that's the way everything started. But then for me, it was like, okay, there's something there. So then I can give up the biology, that biology path. But it took a few years for this decision. Yeah.
So you've moved between pretty different musical styles. You started out with classics. You have been into jazz,
I like jazz. Yeah.
You've played both power metal and thrash metal, like professionally in bands.
Yeah.
How do you move between, and also like Brazilian beats, you usually incorporate that into your music. How do you move so smoothly? Like, was it difficult to move these different steps between the genres?
I think yes and no, because music is one thing. So the chords, the scales, everything is common to every style. So the aesthetics of the style changes, how you dress, you have distortion or not, or like the instrumentation. But I was really into learning music always, So like I was very curious about listening to classical, to jazz, to Brazilian music, to flamenco and things like that. My passion was metal. And then I was kind of bringing all this influence, like in how can I adapt this to metal, And then there's this term they call prog metal, or, which is, I think, represents that when you try to do metal that goes beyond the Judas Priest, or like the basic metal, let's say, Judas Priest or like Accept, or, like the power metal also has the orchestration a bit, But for me, I like the term like prog metal because influenced by classical, by jazz, by flamenco, by anything, but you're always in the aesthetics of metal with heavy guitars, etc.
How did you form your own style?
To form your own style, You just need to, I think you just play, and you get all this information, and then that's gonna lead to your truth, because like I don't play flamenco, the Spanish, but I love to listen to it. And then I get some stuff from there because I like it. Then I listen to jazz or other stuff, and then I get some information from there, and I add to metal. And then that's my style. It's like the metal from the Deep Purple, Led Zeppelin, Judas Priest, Black Sabbath, the old, metal that when I start playing, they're still there with me, and those influences, and then that's my style. The mix, and then the Brazilian stuff, the other references that I have. If I would be from another country, or if I would grow up listening to I don't know, to other style of music, it could be different, and yeah, that's what forms your style, is who you are, and then what you like, and then how you combine those things.
Yeah, I've never actually heard like anything similar to what you did, like this jazz metal you did, and honestly, I absolutely love it. I like jazz and I like metal, but I've never heard that kind of combination, so I really like that.
Thank you.
Which music genre was like most difficult to learn? Like which one was the one that you had to work for?
I have like very, any style of music will have also always like a musician that goes beyond the limits, right, in harmony and technique, etc. So let's say in classical music, you're going to have that, and you have to go there and you have to find the difficult things. And jazz, improvisation in jazz is pretty difficult. You have difficult things. Brazilian music will have some difficult stuff. It's like every style of music. Greek music, playing the bouzouki as well. Flamenco. Paco de Lucia. So technically speaking, the Greek, the Arabian music, the Spanish, they're like very technical, so it's difficult. The blues has a different thing. So every style of music has something. I don't see like, oh, there's one style that's more difficult than other ones. I tend to see music as one thing, actually.
In your first solo album, you played almost all the instruments except for the drums. So the guitar is your main instrument, right? How many other instruments do you play?
I played a bit of piano and yeah. So in my album, I played the percussion. I like to play the percussion because the rhythm you have in your body, just transmit it to the percussion. I play the bass because of the situation there. Like, well, I was in Germany recording, so it was easier kind of for myself to play the bass. And then at the studio, they had this beautiful Steinway. And I said, like, I need to record, so I have to use this piano on my album somehow. Then I was there in between the recording, like practicing a few things to have the piano. So in the end, the album, I play percussion, piano, acoustic guitar, etc. But the idea was not to be like showing off that I can play the different things. It was just a situation, The other albums that I did, then I was, I always had like a percussionist or a bass player. I prefer to work with other musicians, because they are like specialists in their instruments, But I have fun playing piano, a little bit of flute, bass, of course, like a fretted instrument, that's easier to transpose from guitar to acoustic guitar to bass to ukulele or to bouzouki, so that's not a big deal.
Well, the most important part is that you have fun, right? While playing.
Yeah.
So where do you usually draw inspirations for your songs or albums?
The inspiration question. So you need to work hard. Actually, you have to go to the instrument and play without thinking like I'm going to play a song, going to learn a new song. That's another moment. Or going to practice my songs for a concert. That's another moment. You just go to the instrument, grab an acoustic guitar, sit by the piano, and start playing. You have to go there and then play, and then at some point you go, oh, this, I like that. Or you're playing, I like this, and then you try to develop that idea. But if you don't put yourself in that inspiration moment, things is not going to happen. Rarely we'll be like, oh, I was walking and then suddenly this beautiful melody came to my mind, you know. This happens only if you're like walking and singing melodies and improvising ideas, or you have a song in your mind and then start singing that melody, and then from that melody you start creating variations, and then suddenly it's like, oh, this is cool, could be my song. You know, you have to put yourself in that working process. And then after, throughout the years, you learn the best process that works for you, you know. So I worked, as we said, in Angra. In Angra was like 2 people together. So me and Rafael, so the second guitarist, or maybe with the singer. So we would sit together and start playing or jamming, and then figure out, oh, this is good, or what about this, what about this? And then suddenly you have a song. Or I would work by myself in a guitar riff, and then show the guitar riff to the singer, and he would try to sing a melody on top of that and see how it goes. So that was that process. In Megadeth, it was completely different. It was a process of a bit more like a factory of riffs, you know. So I remember like just playing guitar, riffs, just riffs, and then thinking about all the styles you can imagine of guitar riffs in metal. And you think about, okay, Judas Priest like this, Scorpions or this, Megadeth, whatever. So, and then you just keep playing ideas. And then you have a producer and he's recording everything. Then you listen, then you chop the best ones and you label them. And then, okay, it's like you have the pieces of a song, very well organized and labeled. It's more like a factory kind of. And then you have, I did that like for like 8 hours a day for 3-4 days.
Oh, that's a lot.
So yeah, it's a lot, right? Like work, like 9 to 5 work, go there, sit with the guitar and start playing ideas. Most of them were just checking stuff, but at some point something comes. It's like emptying your brain somehow, you know. So it's not like, it is, you put yourself in a place of inspiration, but you're working hard. And then you get all this, and then you label. And of course, I have the experience of doing it, you know. So I know the harmony, the chords, I know how it's going to sound before I play, you know. So I have in my head. So anyway, so I have this kind of a factory kind of thing. Then you have all those ideas. Then you come months later, and then you listen again. Oh, it's still the you know, idea number 11 is really good. Let's combine idea 11 with the number 23, you know, and then start building the Lego pieces. So that's another process of work.
It's very interesting.
Right? So, okay, you repeat the idea 11 4 times, then you bring the 23, repeat 2 times, then the 11 again 4 times, and then you bring another one, then you change, and then you have a 5 minutes piece of 3-4 riffs. If you listen to other thrash metal bands, you're gonna see a bit, that's the kind of the process of this kind of music, you know. And so yeah, so you discovered your way of producing music. I like to play classical guitar, like nylon, and then sit down outside, or like in a hotel room, or like you know, just in the morning, you know, like fresh, and then you go for a run or a gym, or you come back like with that energy, and then you play. For me, it works well.
So for your solo career, that's usually how you do it, right?
Yes. And then you have to put yourself, I think and then of course we read about other creators, how they work, to also see the process of other, not only musicians, writers, you know, painters. That's what I like to do.
Yeah, creative process.
Yeah. So how they do their process, and then you try to adapt to see if it works for you, you know. So it's a very interesting thing, you know.
How do you find like the final name you want to name a song or an album?
Yeah, that's the song. Like when you have lyrics, sometimes the name comes first. You know, it might be like in a conversation, or you're watching a movie or something, like, oh, that's a cool name for a song. We have this this ability, let's say, that mainly when you're composing. Let's say you spend the day like doing riffs, and then you're in a conversation or watching a movie or reading a book or something, and then you're like in that mindset of you're trying to figure out what's gonna be the name of those songs you're composing, or the overall concept of an album. What it's gonna be. This album's gonna be about. And then you can decide it's gonna be about wars. It's gonna be about love. It's gonna be about. And then my latest, the theory of mind, I was like involved with my kids and psychologists and all that. So I heard this term, theory of mind. And I thought it was interesting, but also I was like reading about AI. I was like a lot of people talking about AI and the future of music with AI, all this. I was like reading, and then in this research of AI stuff, because I thought it would be cool to have something related to AI, but in the name of the songs, something that would be like up to date, modern. And then I saw this term, theory of mind, that the AI test was, the AI was passing the tests of the theory of mind with a human ability, right? And then it kind of connected to what the stuff I was dealing at home. And then I was thinking about myself, and it was also as a kid, and all some struggles of, in my early years. So I thought, oh, that's a cool name for an album. I thought it was strong. Then, of course, you Google and see, like, is there another album with that name? And then I didn't find anything. And I thought, like, oh, that's cool. And then it gives you, like, overall picture of, okay, so now the songs' names can be related to that main concept. So every band has that. If you think about any album, the name of the album sets a concept, and then the songs will be related to that.
Do you have any inspiration, like anyone you take inspiration from, like today, nowadays?
Like bands?
Or artists, anyone, like currently?
All the time. Yeah, like that's a hard. Nowadays it's like so fragmented, because somebody talks about a band, you go and check the band. Maybe you're like, actually, let's say like the other day I gave an interview, and the question was like, what's your first concert? The first concert that that I paid to go, right? And then my first concert was Venom. It's a British band from like black metal. I think it was the first black metal band.
Really?
Yeah, Venom. And then the other ones they know. It's kind of a Motorhead, black metal kind of theme, Seven Gates of Hell kind of, I think it was one of the first bands like bringing, Black Sabbath would be, but they were like really the black metal. And then because I gave this answer, but I didn't, after that, I was 14 when I went to that concert, and I didn't really like it. I was like, because I saw the quality of the PA, the sound, it was like probably really bad. But then I went to listen to Venom. I was like, oh, sometimes I do that. I remember the bands or albums that I used to like when I was young, and I go back there and to listen and to get this nostalgia, and also to listen to the perspective that I know how to play all those songs, or I've been in this business for many years. So it's cool. I was watching some videos from Venom. So that happens to, something like old Judas Priest stuff, or, the other day I was like watching I saw something about Rat. Was a band from the 80s too. I was like, oh, are those guys still around or something? I'm curious about this. And then I go, and then I see what they're doing now. And then I go back and listen to the first albums. I was actually the other day, like 2 days ago, listening to Anthrax, like the first album, because I remember I had this album on vinyl. So I have sometimes this nostalgia, and also to connect myself to where I started, because I think I still play really based on those first years of being excited about music. This is one thing. The other thing is like new bands, like Lepros, I think they're from Norway, really good band, modern metal and great musicians, or Tesseract or Meshuggah, so the modern, Meshuggah is not so modern, but Lepros, Tesseract, younger bands. Then it's sometimes I listen to to understand what's going on as well. And then I like the song. So yeah. And then what else? And then other types of music sometimes, you know.
Yeah, I'm guessing this huge access we have nowadays with Spotify, with like Apple Music and all the others, SoundCloud, has a huge role.
Yes, yeah. It makes your life. And of course, I have kids, so they're listening to K-pop and stuff like that.
How much inspiration do you take from K-pop?
No, it's just, I don't know. Probably, you know, get a K-pop melody. No, but it's a new thing now here in my house. So I was like, oh, interesting. Then I listen from the perspective of a composer, because I know the people who are writing those songs are like top pros composers, you know.
Yeah.
So I see like how they're building the structure of a song or the melody or the parts to make a big hit. So like I'm trying to like understand what's going on musically, you know. So why people like this song so much, you know. So every time you listen to whatever Bruno Mars or like a big hit, I listen with a perspective of like kind of understanding why people like that, what kind of melody, what they're using, so why this song everybody likes, you know. And there's always a common thing on those songs, you know, it comes from the Baroque times.
Really?
Musically. Oh yeah. Basically the pop music uses elements from music from the Baroque or like Romantic time, you know, from the 19th century, like Chopin and all that. They just get one little part of this and then they make it pop with aesthetics of the modern music. But harmonically and melodically is like very old stuff, because that's what's like really connected to the human beings and then connected to nature actually. But then we go to a music conversation. But you have in nature you have a harmonic series. When every time you play a note, you have the harmonics that touches us and how we perceive music. And then if you follow the harmonic series, which is nature, it's gonna feel good. So every time you play something that is following that rule of the harmonic series, it's gonna be the pop music. And every time you twist that and play something that it goes against, it sounds more evil, let's say. And then it's gonna be more metal. Yeah, simple as that.
That's very interesting.
Yeah, but then we go to the music conversation. But yeah, so that's how I listen to music, understanding how the composer are using those elements.